staying with the news story, we're getting in breaking inputs. In fact, we are learning that the Supreme Court has taken exception to the SBI not disclosing the unique number of these electoral bonds. In fact, the Apex Court has told the SBI that the bond numbers have to be given. And that is the latest input that we are bringing to you. The Apex Court now going on record to instruct the SBI that the unique number of electoral bonds must be shared and that the bond numbers also have to be given. Now remember, this is happening in the wake of the attack now being launched by the opposition parties that there is perhaps a quid pro quo involved as far as these donations is concerned, and that the identity also needs to be shared in greater detail in terms of the kind of donations that have been made to the Bharatiya Janata Party. Having said that, it's not just the BJP which has received donations, as we also highlighted earlier. It is also the Trinamool Congress and the Congress Party which have in fact received donations via these electoral bonds. Now remember, the Election Commission has also shared this data which is on the websites. As far as the data is concerned, we are all already aware that it's for all to see after much back and forth in terms of the timing of this entire disclosure. Remember, the SBI had approached the Apex Court demanding more time to release this data. The Apex Court, of course, refused to entertain that plea and in fact went on to instruct the SBI to disclose that data, which was done. And that's why the Election Commission of India published this data on electoral bonds on its website just a day before the deadline. The data was published on the site as it was received from the State Bank of India on 12th of March. The SBI, that's why on Tuesday evening, submitted the details of its entities which purchased the now scrapped electoral bonds and political parties which have redeemed them. The Supreme Court has given the Election Commission time till 5 p.m. on 15th of March to publish these data on site. But as we have already highlighted, the data has been published, and in the latest that we are bringing to you now, the Supreme Court has in fact instructed the SBI that bond numbers have to be given. All right, Arunima is joining us on the phone line with more details. Arunima, important to highlight the significance of bond numbers. Why is it so crucial now in terms of the data that's been released?
What Prashant Bhushan, who has been representing ADR, the Association of Democratic Reforms, the petitioner in this particular case, so Prashant Bhushan, while representing them, had said that the unique bond number that SBI maintains is required because that will help analyze which electoral bond was being given to which particular party. So who were the ultimate beneficiary of that particular electoral bond, that would be known only if the unique number is shared. As of now, the details that have been made public only tells you who are the contributors. But who's the ultimate beneficiary, that is still unknown.
All right. In fact, many thanks to you, Arunima. We'll have to wait and watch in terms of when this data is finally released. And with that, let's also break down for our viewers the bond purchases that have been done and who are these companies that have benefited from these bond purchases. In fact, first and foremost is Future Gaming and Hotel Services. They have in fact purchased bonds worth over 1,300 crore rupees. Mega Engineering and Infrastructure, 966 crore rupees. At the same time, Quick Supply Chain Private Limited, 410 crore rupees. Vedanta Limited, 400 crore rupees, as you can see. Haldia Energy Limited, 377 crore rupees. Bharti Group, 247 crore rupees. At the same time, we have SL Mining and Industries Limited, which have invested close to 224 crore rupees as far as these electoral bonds are concerned. And then Western UP Power Transmission Company. Then you also have Keventa Food Park, 195 crore rupees over there that has been invested. Madan Lal Limited, 185 crore rupees. So as you can see, this goes from somewhere between 150 crores all the way up to over 1,300 crore rupees that have been invested in these electoral bonds. On that note, let's quickly go across to Arun Nahata, who's joining me live on the newscast. Arun, we've in fact read out all the names of those companies that have purchased these electoral bonds right now. But having said that, quickly hopping back to what the Supreme Court has had to instruct the SBI, they want that unique number of these electoral bonds only to establish who has been the ultimate beneficiary, and that is when perhaps people will be able to make sense of this data.
Well, see, Akanksha, we all know it's a very exhaustive list, and I think that's the point which SBI was making in the Supreme Court, when Supreme Court in fact was giving them the deadline before which they had to actually release the list, and therefore, of course, this petition of the SBI states that they need more time to actually match the data, and that is perhaps the reason why, if you see in the list, in a day there are more than 200 transactions, and how do you match that? And in totality, if you see, there are in one set of report there are more than 300 pages. So how that exercise is going to actually be done to match up the data, that is something which is very difficult to do. And as far as, of course, the opposition parties are concerned, they have got this opportunity to take on to the government, because there has not been a matching of the data as of now. And of course, all these companies who are part of this exercise, who have purchased these bonds, have bought those bonds as per a legal, constitutionally made law, legally viable option which was given to them by the government. The law was framed in 2018, and then of course the details of all these things which Election Commission has put out in their website is starting from 2019. And in fact, some of the people from the companies are telling us that this is because of the policies of the government of India. The old license Raj system was completely dejected,
True.
and the new policies which were brought in by the central
Right.
government, and that is the reason why that these companies have benefited, and therefore they have bought these bonds.
Absolutely, and in fact what stands out is how this is still fairly nascent as far as the data and what is one to deduce of this data, and which is why the kind of political attack we are seeing come in from the opposition makes it fairly premature. We'll deep dive into the political ramifications soon after the data was released on the Election Commission's website. But before we do that, Arun, continue to stay with us, as we also need to play out the political reactions that have come in.
कोर्ट का जो आदेश है उसका पालन सबको करना पड़ता है, और इलेक्शन कमीशन में उसका पालन करते हुए जो डेटा था उनके पास, उन्होंने वह अपनी वेबसाइट पर डाल दिया है.
It is now in public domain. People know which is the party which benefited because of electoral bond system. It is BJP. So BJP stands thoroughly exposed. Now we should ask Mr. Amit Shah to explain how BJP took all these electoral bonds. Mr. Modi should speak. What is the Modi's guarantee now? Yeah, is it the guarantee, Modi's guarantee, to amass all electoral bonds and make money? And BJP stands thoroughly exposed.